AITA for changing the locks and giving my parents $10 after they skipped my birthday? I went all out for my 30th birthday. Nobody showed up. A month later my mom sent me a message. Our 40th anniversary. You must send $2,000. I transferred her $10. This is all you deserve. The next day they tried to gain entry into my house. And the worst part is they had no idea I had already changed the locks. But let us start from the beginning. Here I am, a week away from turning 30, and for the first time in my life I am actually excited. I know that age weighs heavily on a lot of people, but I have honestly worked very hard to be where I am. Last year I bought my house, yes, with a mortgage that I feel will be with me until the end of time, but it is mine. I have a good job, decent savings, and for the first time I feel like I can celebrate myself properly. I plan 2 celebrations. The first would be something quiet, just family at my house on Saturday evening. My mom Barbara, my dad George, my older brother Jonathan, his wife and his son, and my sister Samantha with her husband. Nothing fancy, just delicious food, conversation, and the idea, even if it sounded naive, that for once we could sit down like a normal family. The second celebration would be on Sunday at an Italian restaurant with my friends from work and college, with the people who actually remember me, those who reach out to me for pleasure, not out of convenience. Let me quickly tell you what my family is like so you can understand the flavor of all this. I am the youngest, the oops we forgot one. Jonathan is 35, Samantha is 33, and then there is me, as if I always arrived late to my own story. As a child I got the hand-me-downs, the smallest room, and the we will see later. If Jonathan wanted guitar lessons, he was enrolled that very same day. If Samantha wanted to join dance class, she was already happy in her leotard. When I asked for materials to draw or paint, the answer was different. Later, Rebecca, not right now. Money is tight. And yes, of course, tight for me because they paid for Jonathan's entire college and Samantha too. When it was my turn, the speech suddenly changed. You are smart, Rebecca. You will manage. And I managed. I won a full scholarship to study at a public university in another state several hours away. I did not go back much during those years. I went back twice. Once for Jonathan's wedding when I was 20 and again the following year for Samantha's wedding. At both I felt like a guest in my own family. I was the single one, the one who was not settled yet, while they were already building their lives, their houses, their children, their version of adults. But everything changed when I graduated and started working in marketing. I started earning well, better than my 2 siblings, in fact. And how curious, suddenly there was a desire to reconnect. Suddenly there were family dinners again, invitations on important dates, how are you messages. Although I noticed something, they almost always sought me out when they needed something. Whether it was repairing Jonathan's car or Samantha needing new appliances or my parents wanting to complete a down payment or fix something around the house. And I said yes, always, every single time. I thought this is how families work, right? They support each other. And a very foolish part of me felt that maybe that was my place, to be necessary, to matter to them, even if it was just for that. Last year I bought the house, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms in a quiet gated suburban neighborhood with a guard gate, and an active homeowners association that sent notices for everything so my credit would cover it. I was so proud. I shared the news one Sunday at a family lunch. And the silence was heavy. You could hear the refrigerator humming in the kitchen. Jonathan kept staring at his plate. Samantha's husband whispered something to her that made her turn red, either from anger or embarrassment. My parents looked at each other as if I had just said I was going to join a cult. You could have consulted us, my dad finally said with that authoritative voice he always used with me. That money could have been better used for the family, my mom finished. For the family. Not a single congratulations, not a single we are so proud, just complaints. But I swallowed my anger, smiled, nodded, and changed the subject to Jonathan's son baseball games. After that lunch the invitations became fewer, and when I did go it was as if I did not exist. Samantha would make comments about my big empty house while she lived squeezed into a 2-bedroom apartment with her family. Jonathan avoided looking me in the eye. My parents treated me as if I were a piece of furniture. I kept repeating to myself they will get over it. Family fights settle and fix things. No. So when I planned my birthday I truly thought this time could be different. Turning 30 is not just anything. I sent the message to the group chat on Monday. Hello. On Saturday I am having a dinner at my house for my birthday. 6 in the evening. Nothing crazy, just a little family dinner. Let me know if you can make it. The replies came quickly. Jonathan okay. Samantha okay. Mom okay. Dad okay. Just that. Okay. Not a single how exciting nor what should we bring nor of course. But I took it as a yes. On Wednesday night I called an Italian food place they like. I ordered for 8 people lasagna, chicken parmesan, salad, garlic bread, and a creamy tiramisu-style dessert. Cost me nearly $200, but I told myself it is my birthday, I deserve it. On Thursday I started cleaning the house as if royalty were coming over. I swept, mopped, dusted, and washed the bathrooms until they sparkled. On Friday I went to the grocery store for drinks and a few things to decorate. Nothing exaggerated. Balloons, a happy birthday banner. I made sure to have beer, soda for the kid, water, and a bottle of wine just in case someone wanted some. On Saturday I woke up in a good mood with that rare excitement I had not felt since I do not even know when. I picked up the food at 4. I set everything on the dining table. I dimmed the lights a bit. Soft music in the background. The house looked beautiful, warm. At 5:30 I double-checked everything. Food ready, drinks cold. Me in the new dress I bought especially for tonight. 6 o'clock on the dot. I was already standing near the window to see if they were arriving. 6:15. Traffic for sure, I told myself. On a Saturday, even then something always gets jammed up. 6:45. I was already feeling ridiculous standing there dressed up with the house ready. 7 o'clock sharp. My phone started vibrating, but they were messages from work friends, college friends, and my neighbor Mrs. Hayes, who always greets me when I take out the trash. Happy birthday. Hope you have an amazing time. 30 looks good on you. From my family, nothing. At 7:15 I could not take it anymore. My hands were shaking when I looked for my mom's number. Call her, I told myself. There must be an explanation. It rang 3 times. What happened, she answered dryly, as if I were bothering her. In the background there was music, laughter, the vibe of a crowded place. Mom, I am here waiting for dinner. Today is my birthday. You guys said yes. Silence. A weird silence but with noise in the background. Then I heard someone laugh loudly. That laugh was Jonathan's. My mom covered the microphone. Or so it seemed. I managed to hear bits and pieces. She is calling about, I thought we had told her. She came back to the call with a voice so casual my stomach dropped. Oh right, your thing. Slipped our minds. We are at the bowling alley with the kid. Jonathan said he wanted to come and Samantha thought it would be best if everyone came here so he could have fun. What do you mean it slipped our minds? Well yeah, we are not going to make it to your house. I froze. But Mom, I said it since Monday. I ordered food, I cleaned. I have been waiting. Rebecca, well, plans change. We decided to do something more fun. The music got louder. Now I could distinguish Samantha's voice, the kids' excited screams. My dad saying here I go. While the sounds of the bowling alley echoed, there they were, happy. Me in my house alone with enough food to feed half the world. It is my birthday. My 30th birthday. Yes. Well, happy birthday then. I cannot talk right now. We are in the middle of everything. It is almost his turn. And she hung up. Just like that. Without further ado. I stood there with my cell phone in my hand, staring at the screen as if I did not understand. The house was so quiet that you could hear the refrigerator. The dining table full, everything served, everything ready for no one. I went to the dining room and looked at the food. The chicken parmesan was already getting a film on top. The salad was starting to look sad. The dessert sitting there like a joke. I sat at the head of the table with my dress on and stared at the empty chairs. 8 places for a single person. The happy birthday banner hanging there looking desperate. My phone kept vibrating with messages. Claire from work, hope you are having an incredible time. Stephanie, my college friend, 30 looks good on you. Even my boss sent me a have a great day. From my mom, my dad, Jonathan, Samantha. Nothing. I tasted a little lasagna, but it tasted like cardboard. Everything was wrong, too much silence, too much space for a single person. And that was when the memories hit me, as if someone had turned on a faucet. When I was 7 years old, they threw Jonathan a huge party. He invited all his friends. There was a show, a themed cake, pictures. 2 months later they did the same for Samantha. Everything pink, princess theme, her friends, balloons everywhere. When my birthday arrived, my mom made a box cake and my dad brought pizza. The 5 of us at the kitchen table. Me smiling, pretending it did not hurt. Or when I got an honors mention for my grades in elementary school. I came running with the paper in my hand. My mom was helping Jonathan with a project and my dad was fixing Samantha's bike. I showed it to them. My mom looked at it for 2 seconds. "How nice, my love," and continued with Jonathan's stuff. Jonathan's project was on the fridge for months. My certificate ended up in a drawer. High school graduation was the worst. They threw Jonathan a big party. Samantha too. Family from other states rented tables, piles of food. I graduated as the valedictorian of my class. And what did we do? We went out to dinner at a chain restaurant, the 5 of us, and that was it. My mom said they were tired of throwing parties and that I would understand when I was older. Even when I got the university scholarship, the reaction was mostly relief. That is good. This way we do not have to pay. No pride, no excitement, just that. I stood up and started putting the food away into the fridge, container after container. While I was wrapping the garlic bread, the phone rang again. For a second my heart jumped. It is my mom. She is going to apologize. They are coming. But it was not. It was Chris, a college friend. Birthday girl. "How is the big 30 treating you?" And right there, with a lump in my throat, I almost burst into tears. It was someone who remembered me. Someone who actually wanted to call me. "It has been interesting," I said, swallowing everything down. "Family dinner is going well." I looked around, the empty house, the food put away, the decorations hanging like a mockery. Something like that, tell me. We talked for about 20 minutes. He told me about his new job, his girlfriend, how he wanted to come visit me the following month. A normal conversation, the kind that does not leave your soul squeezed tight. When I hung up, the house felt even emptier. I took off the dress and put on pajamas. I took down the decorations and threw them in a drawer. I blew out the candles I had lit for the ambience. I sat on the couch and cried. Not a pretty cry, one of those cries that shakes your body and leaves you gasping for air. I cried for the 7-year-old girl who got pizza instead of a party, for the student who got tucked away in a drawer, for the one who graduated with honors and ended up eating dinner as if it were just anything, and for the 30-year-old woman who was still hoping truly that this time would be different. On Sunday, I woke up with swollen eyes and a headache. The house smelled of garlic bread and disappointment. I opened the fridge and everything was right there as a reminder. I grabbed the containers, put them in the car, and drove downtown. It was early Sunday and the city was moving lighter, without the heavy daily traffic. I went to a community soup kitchen that takes daily donations from restaurants and local people. The volunteer at the entrance was a kind lady, Mrs. Wilkins, older, with a warm look. When I explained it to her, her eyes almost welled up. "Thank you, daughter. This will definitely be put to good use." And as I walked out of there, I felt lighter. At least someone was going to appreciate what I had prepared with such excitement. The week went by fast. Work kept me busy and that helped. I did not log onto social media because I knew what I was going to see, and I was in no mood to torture myself. But on Friday during my lunch hour, I opened Instagram out of habit, and there it was. Samantha had uploaded pictures from Saturday. Everyone at the bowling alley laughing, Jonathan's son hugging my parents smiling as if they were the happiest people in the world. Samantha and her husband sharing nachos. Perfect, complete family. Without me. The caption said something like spontaneous family night. Sometimes the best things are unplanned. Spontaneous. Sure, that night they made a choice and it was not me, but I still had my other party, the Sunday one, with the people who actually want to be there. And that Sunday at the Italian restaurant was exactly what my family dinner should have been. 12 friends showed up. My coworkers brought me a cake. Claire said a few words that gave me a lump in my throat, but in a good way, out of pride. Chris drove for several hours just to be there. We stayed until they closed. We laughed, told stories. I felt loved. When I got home that night, I was genuinely happy for the first time in weeks. A month passed. A whole month without my family reaching out to me. I did not reach out to them either. I went on with my life, work, friends, my house. I started a small garden in the backyard. I painted the guest bedroom, normal things. And yes, from time to time I would check their social media, like picking at a scab even though you know you should not. More family gatherings, a barbecue at my parents' house. Jonathan's son's baseball game with everyone cheering. Samantha's birthday dinner at an expensive restaurant. Always together, always without me. One Tuesday morning while I was getting ready for work, my phone vibrated. A message from my mom. No hello, no how are you, straight to the point. Your dad and I are celebrating our 40th anniversary next week. We already booked it and we have to pay in advance. You need to send me $2,000 via bank transfer. It is your share for the dinner. Besides that, you have to get us a gift. I read it 3 times and with every read it burned more. It is your share. As if I were paying admission to hang out with my own family. And a gift on top of that. Not an apology for my birthday. Not a single word about the silent month. She did not even tell me where it would be or what time. Just a demand as if it were the most normal thing, as if I were their automatic teller machine. I made myself a coffee and sat at the kitchen table. The same table where I did my homework as a child while they helped my siblings. The same table where I heard "not right now" so many times. 40 years of marriage and their youngest daughter was a walking credit card to them. I opened my banking app and transferred my mom $10. Then I replied to her, "This is the only thing you deserve from me. Do not ever ask me for a single dollar again." I sent it before I could back out. My hands were shaking, but it felt good. As if I had been holding my breath for 30 years and finally let the air out. 20 minutes later the calls started. First my mom, then my dad, then Jonathan, then Samantha. I did not answer any of them. I let them go to voicemail. Then the messages came. Jonathan, what is wrong with you? It is mom and dad's anniversary. Samantha, you are so selfish. They raised you. My dad, this is unacceptable. Contact us right now. My mom, how dare you leave us like this? We expected more from you. We expected more from you. What irony. Coming from those who forgot my 30th birthday to go bowling. I deleted everything without replying. That night I heard a car park outside. Then another, doors slamming shut. I peeked out the window and saw them. My parents walking straight to my door as if they still lived here. At the guard gate they let them through because for years I had them registered as frequent visitors to avoid problems, as my mom used to say. I never thought that one day it would turn against me. They started knocking loudly. "Rebecca, open up right now," my dad shouted, loud enough for half the block to hear. "We need to talk," my mom added. I stayed on the couch watching television, ignoring them. My stomach was churning, but I did not move. "I know you are in there," my dad insisted, banging again. "This is highly disrespectful." After about 10 minutes they left. I saw their headlights driving down the street, and I felt, more than fear, relief. But I also knew something. They were not going to let it go. When there was money involved, they never let go. That same night, feeling calmer, I did something I should have done earlier. The day after my birthday I changed the locks, and that week I had cameras installed and connected everything to my phone. Not out of paranoia but instinct. And the worst part was that my instinct was not wrong. I had a business trip scheduled for early Wednesday to Chicago. I got up at dawn, took the flight, and settled into the hotel. By mid-morning my phone sent me a security system alert. Someone was trying to open the door. I opened the main camera feed, and there they were, my mom, my dad, Jonathan, Samantha, standing in front of my door trying a key. And of course it did not open for them because I had changed the locks after the disaster of my birthday. When the key did not work they started trying to force the door. My dad pulling the knob, Jonathan pushing, Samantha looking side to side, my mom acting as a lookout, as if they were doing something completely normal. My own family attempting to gain entry into my house. Right there on my phone screen a horrible truth dawned on me. They did not come to talk. They came looking for money, because in their heads I must have had cash stashed away for emergencies, just like my mom always preached. I could have dialed 911 at that moment. And yes, maybe I should have, but I just watched, recording everything with a dry mouth, seeing it without excuses, without my I am sure it was a misunderstanding. They spent about 20 minutes trying. Then they gave up and left. 2 days later I returned home. That same evening they knocked again. I opened the door. There the 4 of them were, with hard faces and seething with anger, as if I were the one who owed them something. They did not even wait for me to say hello. They barged in. "How dare you humiliate us," my mom started, raising her voice. $2,000 is nothing to you and you send us 10 as if we were beggars. My dad chimed in. 40 years of marriage and our own daughter ruins our celebration. Jonathan was pacing around my living room as if he still gave the orders around there. You really crossed a serious line, Rebecca. It was one thing. Samantha, with her arms crossed, finished it off. You were always weird, but this is just cruel. I let them speak for 2 minutes. I watched them turn red, heard them say things to me that hurt because they were unfair. I stood still breathing. Then I walked over to my laptop, opened it, and without raising my voice I said, "Shut up already." Something in my tone stopped them dead, as if they had never heard me like that. I turned the screen toward them and played the video. There they were, in high definition, attempting to gain entry through my door. My dad pulling the lock, Jonathan pushing, my mom playing lookout. Samantha checking windows. The color drained from their faces. I installed cameras after my birthday, I said. After the dinner you did not attend. My mom gulped. You forgot your daughter's 30th birthday to go bowling. That was bad enough, but this is something else. Samantha opened her mouth. Do not make things up. Do not give me that. You made a choice, and then you chose again when you attempted to gain entry into my house. I skipped to another clip. Here you are trying to open the back door. Here is Jonathan checking to see if my bedroom window was unlocked. My dad tried to regain his tone. We were not stealing. We are your family. Family does not do this, I told him. Family does not demand money as if it were a toll. Family does not hang up when their daughter is crying. Family does not forget birthdays and then expect one to pay just to exist at the table. My mom started crying, but it was not a cry that moved me. It was the same cry she used when I was a little girl and she wanted me to feel guilty. We raised you, she sobbed. We fed you, we gave you a home. You did the bare minimum, I replied. You paid for classes for Jonathan and for Samantha too. I got hand-me-downs and lectures about how there was not enough. Jonathan clenched his jaw. Jonathan got a guitar. Samantha got dance class. Jonathan got a car. Samantha got a car. I got a public transit pass. You paid for both of their colleges. I had to get a scholarship or nothing. My dad tried to interrupt. We could not. Yes, you could, I cut him off. Because you could when Jonathan needed money for his house. You could when Samantha wanted new furniture. But for me it was always we cannot. I heard myself talking and realized something. I could not stop anymore. 30 years holding things in and suddenly everything was pouring out clearly. I have given you thousands of dollars over the years, I continued. Repairs. Emergencies. Payments here and there. Every time you called I said yes. And what did I get? To be treated like a cash machine. Samantha said softly, that is not true. Then tell me something, I answered. When was the last time you called me just to see how I was? When was the last time you invited me to something without asking me to pay? When was the last time you made me feel like I was part of you? Silence. No one could say a word. I bought this house and instead of congratulating me you scolded me. I planned a dinner and you traded it for the bowling alley. I sent you $10 instead of $2,000 and you came to attempt to gain entry. I closed the laptop and looked at them one by one. If you ever come back to my house, if you try to get in again, or if I see you snooping around here, I am taking these videos to the police and I am also calling 911. This is not a game, it is a crime. I walked over to the front door and opened it. You are leaving right now. They stood there for a second, as if they could not believe I was actually doing this. Then they started walking out one by one, quiet, with their eyes downcast, not like offended adults but like scolded children. When the last one crossed the doorway I closed it, locked it and leaned against it for a moment, breathing, feeling a different kind of silence, a silence that did not hurt, a silence that was finally mine. A week later I saw photos on Facebook of their anniversary celebration. In the end they had dinner at my parents' house. No restaurant. In the pictures everyone looked tense. Samantha's husband looking like he wanted to leave, Jonathan's son looking bored, my parents wearing funeral expressions, and the comments. Some were laughable for how naive they were. What a beautiful intimate celebration, a distant cousin wrote. But I saw the truth. Without my money they could not pay for the dinner they wanted. Without my money it was just another uncomfortable meal where no one looks each other in the eye. In the following months they tried to reach out but with little effort. A card from my mom on my birthday with nothing else. A message from Jonathan. How are you? Samantha liking a photo of mine. I did not answer, and my life honestly improved the moment I stopped carrying their weight. There were no more guilt trip calls. There were no more suspicious emergencies. There were no more dinners where I was invisible. I started dating Derek, a coworker. He is funny, he is kind, and the weirdest part for me, he actually listens when I talk. When I told him about my family, he said something simple. Good thing you put a stop to it. Toxic is toxic even if it is family. I turned the guest bedroom into a painting studio. I picked up paintbrushes again for the first time since high school. I joined a hiking group. I met new people who knew nothing about my dramas and who treated me normally. Almost a year later, having just turned 31, I ran into Jonathan at the grocery store in the dairy aisle. As if life wanted to prove something to me. He saw me and looked uncomfortable, looking around as if afraid someone would see him talking to me. Hello, he said forcefully. Hello, how are you? Good, really good. He shifted nervously. Mom misses you. I looked at him with no desire to fight but no desire to pretend either. I am sure she misses my wallet, I said calmly. His face turned red. That is not fair, Rebecca. I do not hate you guys, but I do not trust you, and I am not going back to being your automatic teller machine. I pushed my cart and kept shopping. No drama, no scene, just firm. I miss them sometimes. Maybe I miss the idea of a family, the one I imagined, the one I thought we could be, but I do not miss the reality. Today I am 31, and for the first time in my life I am no longer waiting for my family to love me the way I deserve. I grew up thinking that love was earned by enduring, by paying, by staying quiet so there would be no fights. I thought that if I gave more someday they would see me, but what I understood as an adult is that affection cannot be bought or begged for. And that setting a boundary does not make me a bad daughter. It is taking care of myself. The little girl I was took a long time to learn that. Because when you are little you convince yourself that you are the one failing, that if you behave better they will love you the same. Today I know that was not it. If you are in a relationship where they only look for you when it is convenient for them, you are not obligated to keep paying with your peace. You deserve respect even if it is your own family, and you deserve to live light. Comment. Hey everyone, I really connected with this story on a personal level. I've learned that protecting our self-respect is never selfish. It's simply honoring our own worth. When we set clear boundaries, we open the door to real healing and growth. I want you to know it's completely okay to choose peace over painful old patterns. Taking responsibility for our emotional well-being can quietly transform how we move through life. Surround yourself with people who truly see and value you, not just those who need something from you. True kindness always begins with being gentle toward yourself first. I hope this encourages you to pause and reflect on the relationships in your own life. Remember, you deserve connections that feel safe and mutual. Let's keep supporting one another as we build lives filled with genuine calm and inner strength. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a comment and support the channel by subscribing. See you in the upcoming stories.